The skies of Morrowind are full of wonders. Cliff races, deadly blight storms, the occasional floating Telvanni god. And, of course, airships, for levitation alone is not the only way to ply the skies. For what better way is there to explore this big, wide, beautiful world of Morrowind than by sailing over it atop your very own airship? Be it some Dwemer contraption, an air corsair, or a flying Imperial galleon. No matter your vessel, great vistas await, floating isles offering tantalizing new adventures, or just scenic sights of verticality to fill your gaze. For yes, today's mods of the day are a pair of exciting, enticing, and all-around inspiring set of new adventures set in the skies of Morrowind. For today we're showcasing Aetherian Airships by SkyHasCats and Aetherwind by Billyfighter, SkyHasCats, Safebox, and Corel. These two mods add a whole new way to experience the world, and especially skies of Morrowind, offering you not one, but 3 new types of airships, with new flying mechanics and seamless controls that make these flying vessels just easily the best airships ever produced from Morrowind. Flying them isn't just a scenic adventure, it's a true joy, and a simply fantastic way to experience the game in a whole new way. Not only that, but there's new quests to do, new floating isles to discover, dungeons to delve, and new locations to find, adding both scenic backdrops of sweet, tantalizing verticality to your travels around Morrowind, as well as just tons of new content to explore. Now, before we delve into each of these fantastic mods, I do want to give a quick shout out. For Billyfighter isn't just a Morrowind modder, he's also a game developer, and he just released his latest game, Dreamspring, out on Steam. An old-school roguelike RPG, Dreamspring provides a challenging but exciting world to explore, featuring melee, ranged, and magical combat, with a lo-fi graphical charm meant to be reminiscent of RPGs from the 90s. It's a dark fantasy hack and slash, and after playing it for about around 7 hours now, I've had a pretty fun time just checking it out. If you've played Billyfighter's previous game, Necroslayer, there's some notable similarities here. But Dreamspring is a more, I would say, polished experience, with plenty of exploration, combat, and lore to keep you invested. If you've enjoyed Billyfighter's numerous mods from Morrowind, and indeed Dreamspring has a lot of Morrowind references.
Stand up. There you go. You were dreaming. Was it another one of those nightmares?
You'll probably enjoy Dreamspring, and I'd recommend just checking it out. You can find a link to the store page on Steam just right down below, both in the video description and in the pinned comments. But having said all that, let's begin with our actual mods of the day. Starting with Aetherian Airships by SkyHasCats. And this mod adds 2 new airships available for purchase in Dagenfell. A Dwemer skyship that you can buy for 10,000 gold, and an Imperial air galleon available for 20,000. You can purchase them from the merchants down at the docks, but in order to actually reach them, you're going to need a levitation potion or 2. Both of these ships come with some modest interiors, including cabins with some basic amenities and cargo holds with plenty of storage. These are basically mobile player homes in the sky. After all, what could be more convenient than taking your player home with you as you adventure across Morrowind? But the main feature here, of course, is the actual flying. And let me tell you, these ships are a delight to pilot. The controls and interface here are just incredibly smooth. These ships soar like a dream, And I dare say these are the best airships available for Morrowind. And not only do they just provide great views, but you'll love every minute that you're flying the skies. The controls are simple, allowing you to adjust speed, height, rotation, and direction, as well as change your camera angle, allowing you to change the camera to cover the entire ship, or switch it to first person, and watch from your position on deck while you control the ship. And while it is a bit harder to just to see everything in front of you, that ladder camera position is actually just really neat. There's nothing like standing at the wheel of a galleon and pitching the ship one way and the other. It's actually just quite the immersive experience. And I loved flying ships from this, from this camera angle. It was just such a neat experience. And should you so desire, you can actually lock the ship's movement and enable free roam. So you can just roam about the deck of your mighty vessel while it's in flight, giving you plenty of opportunities to take to the gangplank and watch as the world goes by. I absolutely love doing this. Morrowind is such a beautiful game, and obviously, I've got a pretty modded OpenMW setup here. And just sitting back and taking in all the sights and verticality is just an absolute pleasure. The functionality and ease of controls of Aetherian airships is simply sublime. You can take your airships anywhere across Vardenfell or the mainland, and at any place you want, you can stop your ship, go on an adventure, come back and store your loot in the cabins, and then just take off again, flying high into that sweet horizon of verticality. This mod is just a lot of fun, and I've actually recorded probably hours of footage just flying around in one airship or another. This might just be one of the best implemented vehicle mods from Morrowind, and if you're already on OpenMW, I highly recommend just checking it out for yourself. But now we've come to our second mod of the day, with Aetherwind, which in many ways builds upon Aetherian airships, adding new isles to the skies of Morrowind, new locations and dungeons to visit, as well as new airships, using the same scripts and functionality as Aetherian airships, to give you plenty of new things to discover far above the landscapes of Morrowind. From the Ascadian Isles to the Bitter Coast, West Gash, and all round the Grazelands and Azura's coast, you can find these floating isles dotting the skies of Morrowind, giving you new scenic vistas of verticality for you to stumble upon as you're out exploring. And even if you don't visit these locations right away, they provide a beautiful backdrop to your travels. The isles themselves are home to all sorts of new places for you to find, from Daedric shrines floating far above the Azura's coast, to a new floating set of Telvanni isles off the coast of the Grazelands, to snowbound lands above the frigid north of Solstein, to ancient Velothi ruins and tombs along the Bitter Coast, and flying forests in the skies of the Shulgoran. And there's even new towns for you to visit, with Fort Aramoth floating above Ebonheart, a bastion of Imperial power projecting strength even into the skies of Morrowind itself, to a new Aether Pirates Cove in the West Gash, with taverns and markets to explore. And of course, there's 2 new quest lines here for you to pursue, one of which is actually a sequel to Billyfighter's previous mod, Aether Pirates Discovery, a quest and dungeon mod released for the 2023 Summer Mod Jam.
Let's get this.
While that mod isn't required, if you do have it and do the quest line, you'll meet some of the same characters as part of the quest lines in Aetherwind. Though, having said that, it is worth noting that Aetherwind is still very much a beta when it comes to the quest lines. And while you can choose to pursue some of these early quests, you won't be able to progress very far in either faction questline just yet. But even so, there are still just 3 new airships for you to buy here, including an Imperial galleon, Dwemer airship, and the ever scenic air cutter. The first two are, naturally, copies from Aetherian airships, but with their own unique and cozy interiors, designed by Corel. You can buy the Imperial galleon and air cutter at Fort Aramon for 30,000 gold and 10,000 gold respectively. The Dwemer airship can be purchased at the Aether Pirates hideout in the West Gash for about 20,000. So all these ships are pretty expensive, but heavens if they aren't worth the price of admission. There's nothing like taking to the skies a Morrowind, or Tamriel Rebuilt, or Solstein, or just any of the other landmass mods from Morrowind. As previously stated, I recorded hours of just flying around in these airships, and I especially love the little air cutter from Aetherwind. It's such a cool looking little ship. And I actually took the air cutter down through the new areas of Tamriel Rebuilt's Grasping Fortune release. And heavens, I dare say this is one of the best ways to explore the mainland. There's nothing like soaring over the Coronati Basin or through the cliffs and ravines of the Shipple Shin, or even just flying through the towering cityscape of Narcissus. Talk about a verticality overload! Even if you don't plan on playing through the quests, the isles and ships of Aetherwind just add so much to the world of Morrowind that I have to strongly recommend checking it out. I mean, I'm never not going to recommend verticality. And now I should mention that, of course, the airships themselves are limited to OpenMW. But even if you're not using OpenMW, you can still play through the quests, dungeons, and enjoy the scenic heights of floating isles dotting around the world of Morrowind. So there's, still plenty of reasons to check it out, even on regular old vanilla Morrowind. With adventure, gameplay mechanics, scenic heights, and so much more, Aetherwind is a strong contender for one of the best mods of 2025, and is certainly just one of the best mods of the 2025 Morrowind Modathon. You really should give it a try. But that's it for our mods of the day. So as always, I've been your host, Golf Guy. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.